Well, howdy there, friends. Today, we're embarking on a remarkable journey to catch a glimpse of how the cast members from Welcome Back, Cotter have changed over the years. We'll be revealing their true identities and ages, and you're in for a real treat as we compare their youthful days on the show to the present year of 2024. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all ready for this ride? Let's get this journey rolling. 1. Ron Palillo as Arnold Horack. Ron Palillo embarked on his career in the late 60s, securing minor roles in various TV shows before landing the character of Arnold Horack. Horack's distinctive feature was his boisterous, resonant laugh, often likened to a hyena's mating call. Simultaneously irksome and endearing, he stood out as the quirkiest and perhaps the most intelligent among the sweat hogs. Despite being promoted from their remedial class, Horack chose to return, finding comfort among his friends. Following the conclusion of Cotter, Palillo traversed an extensive path, making appearances on numerous network television shows, including The A-Team, Trapper John, MD, and Chips. In the mid-90s, he portrayed himself on Ellen, the popular sitcom hosted by Ellen DeGeneres. Palillo's involvement in acting extended to both TV and stage roles, constituting only a fraction of his multifaceted performing career. Beyond acting, he ventured into directing several theater productions and even illustrated a couple of children's books. One of Palillo's notable accomplishments was the full-length production titled The Lost Boy, centered around Peter Pan author J.M. Barrie. Debuting in New York in 2005, the play received performances on various stages. Despite maintaining an active career, Palillo's passing in 2012, attributed to a heart attack, prompted a newspaper article to reflect on his complex sentiments regarding the iconic role he played. 2. Marsha Strassman as Julie Cotter. In her most recognized role, Marsha Strassman portrayed Julie, the wife of Gabe Cotter, in the sitcom, marking a milestone in her career that began nearly a decade earlier. As Mrs. Cotter, she displays affection for the students, but occasionally expresses frustration at their frequent visits outside of school hours. A recurring theme in the show revolves around Julie's attempts to convince everyone to enjoy her world-famous tuna casserole, a dish that is evidently unappetizing and inedible. Fortunately, her involvement in the show extended beyond the kitchen. Much like her husband, she held a degree and eventually started working at Buchanan High. Strassman had been open about her occasional discontent on the Cotter set. Following the conclusion of the show, Strassman's career continued to flourish. She made appearances on various shows such as ER, Murder, She Wrote, Tremors, and Baywatch, in addition to starring in the popular movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and its sequel, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Her final acting role was in the 2014 TV movie titled Looking for Mr. Right. Strassman passed away in 2014 after a prolonged battle with cancer. In 2008, she published a memoir discussing her illness and career. 3. Robert Hagias as Juan Epstein. Robert Hagias portrayed Juan Luis Pedro Felipo de Huevos Epstein, a sweat hog known for his recurring gag of presenting fake excuse notes allegedly from his mother. Hagias would confidently read these notes aloud to Mr. Cotter and other overseeing faculty members, always emphasizing the signature, Epstein's mother, to lend credibility to their authenticity. With a background in theater in New York City, he studied acting in college before landing the role of Epstein. At the age of 25, Hagias expanded his involvement by directing multiple episodes of Cotter. As an avid Marx Brothers fan, akin to Kaplan, he even took on the role of Chico Marx in a touring production titled An Evening with Groucho Marx. Later, Hagias joined the cast of the popular cop drama Cagney and Lacey, portraying Manny Esposito for over 40 episodes. Following this period, his acting career experienced a slowdown, with only a few roles and occasional appearances as himself in television retrospectives. Hegyies, having studied acting in college, generously shared his knowledge by embarking on a teaching career. He taught students in screenplay writing and acting at Rowan University, his alma mater. Sadly, Hegyies passed away from a heart attack in 2012 at the age of 60. 4. Stephen Shortridge as Beau de Debar. Stephen Shortridge entered the welcome back Cotter scene during its concluding season, portraying Beau de Debar, a recent arrival from New Orleans who had faced expulsion from multiple schools before finding a place at Buchanan High. Debar, characterized as a smooth talker, consistently endeavored to charm and impress his female classmates. Following the show's conclusion in 1979, Shortridge enjoyed a decade of prolific activity. He featured in over 50 television commercials, promoting an array of products from Coca-Cola to Head & Shoulders shampoo. Additionally, he ventured into the realm of daytime soap operas, appearing in The Bold and the Beautiful, and secured roles in popular 70s and 80s shows such as The Fall Guy, The Love Boat, and Fantasy Island. His acting journey culminated with the release of Say Anything, the beloved teen film starring John Cusack as the affable loner Lloyd Dobler in 1989. Shortridge had pursued college on a water polo scholarship, simultaneously delving into the study of painting. Ultimately, his passion for painting eclipsed his acting career, leading him to embrace a full-time profession as an artist. To this day, he remains actively engaged in the world of painting. 5. Vernie Watson as Verna Jean Williams. Vernie Watson portrayed Verna Jean Williams, the romantic partner of Freddy Boom Boom Washington. This wasn't the sole occasion she shared the screen with John Travolta. She played a role in The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, a poignant 1976 TV movie recounting the story of a teenager, Travolta, grappling with an immune disease, leading a life confined within an intricate bubble that he fervently desires to escape. Welcome back. Cotter marked her debut on television, although she had already accumulated several film credits by that juncture. The 80s unfolded as relatively subdued years for Watson in terms of acting, but as the 1990s dawned, she embarked on a consistent streak of work that appears unabated. Notable appearances include roles in Good Times, The West Wing, and The Jeffersons, among others. Viewers familiar with The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air may recognize her portrayal of Will's mother, Viola Vi Smith. Presently, she graces the screen in the CBS sitcom, Bob Hart's Abishola. 6. Gabe Kaplan as Gabe Cotter. Mr. Gabe Cotter was an unorthodox yet well-meaning educator, returning to his alma mater to teach this group of misfits. Portrayed by Gabe Kaplan, who also co-founded the show, he skillfully straddled the line between delightful comedy and addressing contemporary issues such as drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, and gang violence. Kaplan harbored dreams of becoming a professional baseball player, but a stint as a bellhop redirected his path, leading him to hone his stand-up comedy skills. He proved quite adept, earning 5 appearances on Johnny Carson's The Tonight Show through his touring endeavors. Subsequently, he recorded his comedy album titled Holes and Mellow Rolls, featuring extensive routines about his high school experiences, an inspiration directly tied to the creation of Cotter. Essentially, Kaplan's career is synonymous with Cotter. An attempt to capitalize on Kaplan's success resulted in the 1981 series Lewis and Clark, which NBC swiftly canceled after a mere 8 episodes. Kaplan did have the opportunity to showcase his remarkable Groucho Marx impression in a 1982 TV movie. Interestingly, Groucho himself was slated for a cameo on Cotter during Season 2, but upon arriving on set, he was deemed too frail to perform. In the mid-'80s, Kaplan took a hiatus from acting, delving into high-stakes poker. He not only became a poker tournament's commentator, but also participated in the GSN series High Stakes Poker. At 78 years old today, Kaplan stands as a champion poker player, accomplished stand-up comedian and author. In 2007, he penned a book debunking absurd email claims, including one asserting that he has surpassed Wilt Chamberlain in the number of women slept with. The verdict on that claim remains uncertain. 7. John Travolta as Vinnie Barbarino. Vinnie Barbarino, with his stylishly tousled hair, emerged as one of the major heartthrobs of the 70s. Brimming with confidence, humor, and a repertoire of insults, Vinnie led the Sweat Hogs and popularized the iconic catchphrase, "Up your nose with a rubber hose." Mama Travolta initially opposed his taking the role, fearing early typecasting. Travolta remarked, "She was safeguarding my reputation, thinking I'd never achieve fame playing a naive New York character." Amidst his Cotter tenure, an often overlooked role was his contribution to the mayhem unfolding in the 1976 film Carrie. Just a year later, he skyrocketed to global fame, showcasing his dance moves in Saturday Night Fever. Soon, he cemented his legendary status as the rebellious T-Bird Danny Zuko in Grease. All of this occurred while still engaged with Cotter, leading to his temporary departure during much of Season 4. He undeniably embodied a true movie star persona. A personal standout is his role in the 1994 classic Pulp Fiction, where he and Sam Jackson formed an iconic duo of the 90s. Feel free to share a better duo if you think of one. In 2019, he took on an eccentric character in The Fanatic, a film written and directed by Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst, portraying an autistic man fixated on meeting his favorite actor. That same year, he graced the screen in Trading Paint and The Poison Rose. Unfortunately, 2020 brought sorrow for John, as his wife, actress Kelly Preston, succumbed to breast cancer. His most recent appearance was in 2022's Paradise City. This came after another heartbreaking loss, as he mourned his son Jet, who passed away in 2009 after a fatal seizure. Our thoughts go out to John and his family, and we eagerly anticipate his return to the acting scene. 8. John Sylvester White as Mr. Michael Woodman. Gabe Cotter's primary mission upon returning to his alma mater is to uplift the Sweat Hogs by fostering both learning and self-confidence. His nemesis at the school is Michael Woodman, the assistant principal who eventually ascends to the role of principal. John Sylvester White portrayed Woodman, a cantankerous individual who had once been Cotter's teacher during his student days at James Buchanan High. Woodman harbored no fondness for the Sweat Hogs, consistently belittling them verbally. In return, the quick-witted crew retaliated with a barrage of mocking remarks, poking fun at everything from Woodman's stature to his traditional demeanor. Eventually, there was a semblance of change as he started showing the students a modicum of respect. White's professional endeavors tapered off considerably after the conclusion of Welcome Back, Cotter. He made sparse appearances in a few TV shows, with Mama's Family and Alice being notable among his final acting engagements. In the early 80s, he and his wife relocated to Hawaii, where he succumbed to pancreatic cancer in 1988. 9. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs as Freddy Boom Boom, Washington. It was Lawrence Hilton Jacobs who breathed life into Sweat Hog Freddy Percy Boom Boom Washington. Renowned for his prowess on the basketball court, Washington exudes an air of self-assurance. His distinctive catchphrase was uncomplicated. All he uttered was, "Hello there." But the delivery, smooth and resonant, made it memorable. This was yet another of the show's iconic one-liners that transcended the screen and embedded itself in popular culture. Similar to numerous Cotter cast members, Hilton Jacobs embarked on his acting journey in the late 60s and has maintained a consistent presence since the conclusion of that show. His versatile repertoire includes portraying an LAPD detective in Alien Nation and embodying the Jackson family patriarch, Joe Jackson, yes, the Michael and Janet Jacksons, in the miniseries The Jacksons, An American Dream. Beyond acting, Hilton Jacobs is a vocalist who has recorded several solo albums and collaborated with artists such as Rick James. 10. Charles Fleischer as Carelli. Charles Fleischer became part of the Welcome Back, Cotter ensemble in the second season, taking on the role of the irritating Carelli, a rival to the Sweat Hogs. In a particular episode, Horack, not exactly renowned for his pugilistic skills, endeavors to establish a tough guy reputation by facing off against Carelli in the boxing ring. Alongside his sidekick Wilbur Murray, Carelli frequently engages in conflicts with the Sweat Hogs. Fleischer's professional portfolio is extensive. Following Cotter's conclusion, he graced numerous TV shows and movies. One of his standout performances is in a role that's audible but not visible. He lends his voice to Roger Rabbit and a couple of other characters in the animated comedy film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. With a sequel in the works for the 1988 movie, Fleischer might return to contribute his vocal talents to the narrative. Beyond acting, he manages a business, serving as part owner of a multimedia company based in California. As a seasoned stand-up performer from his early days, he occasionally graces the stage to entertain audiences with laughter. 11. Melanie Haller as Angie Grabowski. Melanie Haller portrayed Angie Grabowski, introduced in Season 3 as the sole official female sweat hog, but had departed by the conclusion of the season. On April 12, 1980, Haller attended a dinner gathering at the Southampton, Long Island residence of film producer Roy Radin. Haller had been introduced to Radin by photographer Ronald Sisman and visited his home with the aspiration of revitalizing her stagnant acting career. The day following the party, Haller was discovered on a commuter train to Manhattan, unconscious and injured. She asserted that she had been assaulted and violated during the gathering at Radin's residence, hinting that the incident may have been recorded by Radin and/or other attendees. Radin contended that Haller had willingly participated in activities during the party. The Haller case garnered extensive coverage from the New York City press. In 1981, businessman Robert McKeage admitted guilt to assaulting Haller and received a 30-day prison sentence. 12. Deborah Lee Scott as Rosalie Hotsy Totsy. Deborah Lee Scott portrayed Rosie Totsy, the alleged femme fatale said to have added the sweat to Sweat Hog, although her reputation is largely inflated by the Sweat Hog's hearsay. Scott, a native of Elizabeth, New Jersey, and later a resident of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, where she served as a cheerleader. At the age of 22, she rose to fame on Mary Hartman, taking on the role of Mary's sister, Kathy Shumway. She featured in the inaugural season of the sitcom Welcome Back. Cotter, as Rosalie Hotsy Totsy, made a guest appearance in a 1976 episode of Gibbsville and portrayed Angie's younger sister, Marie Falco, in the Donna Pescow sitcom Angie. Scott's fiancé, John Dennis Levi, a police officer with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, lost his life in the September 11 attacks. In 2005, shortly after relocating to Florida to reside with her sister, Scott lapsed into a coma and was admitted to the hospital. While she did recover and was discharged from the hospital on her birthday, she passed away peacefully in her sleep 3 days later on April 5, 2005. Her remains were cremated. According to her fiancé's mother, Scott struggled with a drinking issue, leading to cirrhosis and ultimately contributing to her demise. Her sister Jerry added that she never did get over Dennis's death. While we reflect on the impact of Welcome Back, Cotter, it's clear that the legacy extends far beyond the fictional classrooms of James Buchanan High. The show not only entertained millions, but also paved the way for its talented cast to explore new horizons and leave an everlasting imprint on popular culture. Join us next time as we continue to delve into the lives and careers of your favorite stars, bridging the gap between then and now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating journeys through the worlds of television, film, and beyond. Stay tuned for more incredible stories and fascinating transformations. Goodbye, and welcome back to your memories.